have a very special guest today, and I'm sitting with him at my residence, and I'm really privileged, Vikas.
Can I tell you how privileged I am? And I'm sitting next to someone who owns this house. I'm very, very jealous and impressed and everything at the same time, sir.
I'm flattered, but I think let's go to you.
Yeah. But I'm just saying it's very cool. So anytime you see him, it will be very nice. He can just write a villain and stuff. You never know.
Okay. So Vikas is going to tell us now this largely about Bigg Boss and his new show, Class of 2020.
Okay.
So let's start with Bigg Boss.
जी.
आप जब पहले गए वहाँ पर, you know, it was all being said that you are going for Devolina, you're going for a partial period. So what were the thoughts then? आपको लगा शायद 1-2 वीक के लिए मैं जा रहा हूँ, आप इतने इन्वॉल्व हो रहे थे, नहीं हो रहे थे?
नहीं, I'll tell you what. When I was told that I should come down and be in the house again, तो मैंने सोचा था उस बारे में और मैंने डिसाइड किया था कि मैं सबके लिए जाऊँगा. अगर आपने मेरा वहाँ स्टे देखा होगा तो मैं जब पहली बार गया था, आई थिंक अप्रॉक्सीमेटली फॉर अ मंथ, तो मैंने डिसाइड किया था जो कोई भी है वहाँ पर मैं हर किसी का गेम बेटर करने जाऊँगा. तो चाहे वो पारस हो, चाहे वो माहिरा हो, चाहे सिद्धार्थ हो, चाहे आसिम हो, शेफाली हो, हर किसी का गेम कैसे बेटर हो सकता है, what are the weaknesses that is troubling them. So I was helping everyone. It was very clear cut thought process कि जो सही है वो I believe in kind of following, but that doesn't mean that I'm always right. I could be wrong on things also, but what I feel strongly about, I go for it. And it just so happened that I became extremely close to Shehnaaz and Sidharth there, and that's one of the reasons why when I came back to the house, मैं Sidharth का connection बन के आया था.
But tell me honestly, when you entered, did everybody like you?
No.
You can make out from everybody's face.
No, of course not. No. Even I was talking to Sidharth. Sidharth was also not very happy. Neither was Shehnaaz happy. Neither was a lot of people. Because the thing is, यार वो पहले बेचारे इतने वक्त से वहाँ पर थे, आपस में कितना कुछ कर रहे थे. और मेरा वही था कि मैंने कहा था किसी को बताएंगे नहीं आप कि मैं किसी का प्रॉक्सी बन के आ रहा हूँ या कुछ वक्त के लिए आ रहा हूँ, फिर वरना मज़ा नहीं आता ना मुझे खेलने में. तो वरना द फन पार्ट इज व्हेन पीपल थिंक आई एम कॉम्पिटिशन एंड दे विल ट्रीट मी एज बैड एज दे कैन एंड आई कैन स्टिल हैव टू, लाइक द रीजन व्हाई आई गो टू बिग बॉस हाउस इज बिकॉज ऑफ दैट एक्साइटमेंट एंड थ्रिल टू बी एबल टू प्ले. अगर आप वहाँ जा ही रहे हो केवल गेस्ट बन के और आराम करके आओगे वापस, तो उसमें मजा कहाँ आएगा फिर. तो
उनको डर भी लग रहा होगा. I think you were carrying a certain baggage of the 11th season, you know, where your fights with quarrels, misunderstandings with Hina, Shilpa, all that. उनको डर भी लग रहा होगा.
I think जैसे मुझे कुछ बता रहे थे कि you are a very good player, so we were all thinking कि यार ये कहाँ से आ गया एकदम से. तो पर I think that was the fun part. I wanted them to be little be on the edge, and suddenly also the time I was entering was also the time जिस समय Sidharth was going out of the house because he was very unwell. So was Paras. So the responsibility doubles up. जब हम इस शो में होते हैं, it's a reality show, but it's our responsibility that that show does well, and the responsibility that we cannot. अगर हर कोई decide कर ले कि कोने में बैठ के चुपचाप बैठ जाएगा, तो आप शो पे क्या देखोगे? हर एक इशू को किस तरीके से दिखाना, बताना, ये एक रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी हर एक इंसान की जो एक शो के अंदर होता है. अगर वो नहीं करेगा उस हिसाब से और विल बी आइदर बी सेल्फिश और आइदर विल बी ओनली ऑन टू देयर ओन, देन इट विल नेवर बी अ गुड शो.
तो सिद्धार्थ से दोस्ती तो हो गई आपकी, लेकिन आप देख रहे थे कि वो काफ़ी टेम्पर लूज कर रहे हैं. ही वाज पीपल ऑलवेज सेड दैट यू नो he's allowed to get away in the show.
No, please. I had gone there. The day I went, unfortunately, is the day when Sidharth had to go because he was very unwell. And I think Paras was also not there already. वो उसके I think operation हो रहा था या कुछ surgery हो रही थी. So I was very disappointed because I was hoping that when I'm going, I get to play against all the best players. So he wasn't there. But उसको कुछ चिंता करने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ी. वहाँ बहुत लोग थे खेलने के लिए, काफ़ी कुछ हुआ. पर जब सिद्धार्थ वापस आया, एंड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम आई रियलाइज दैट आई रिमेंबर वो नया कोई आता है तो बुलिंग टाइप का थोड़ा करने की कोशिश करता है ना, इसको इतना दे दो, काम दे दो. सिद्धार्थ वाज द ओनली पर्सन हु हैड कम एंड सेड यू डोंट हैव टू डू ऑल ऑफ दिस. सो ही डिड नॉट नो मैं अपना खुद का गेम खेल रहा हूँ, इट डजंट अफेक्ट मी, बट ही वाज एक्चुअली कंसिडर्ड नाइस इनफ टू कम एंड से यू नो इफ यू वांट हेल्प, देयर आर पीपल हु कैन हेल्प यू इन केस इफ यू आर गेटिंग बुलीड एंड ऑल. आई सेड नहीं, बट दैट्स वेरी स्वीट ऑफ यू टू. सो आई रियलाइज दैट आउट ऑफ एवरीवन एल्स, when people say he's the only one who's selfish, he's the only one who's on his own, he was someone who's trying to help me, and I really like that.
No, that's between you and him.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the certain incidents like the fight with Aran happened, and
See,
know, he was grumpy on occasion.
See, I'll tell you what, with Sidharth's journey, and people who have loved Sidharth is for a reason. You know, when a man who is not doing anything to you, you keep poking him, time and again. He will have an outburst. I'm glad that he went through this whole ordeal because I feel जब भी कोई इंसान इस तरह की चीज़ से जाता है तो he realizes and finds lot more of patience inside the house and outside the house. And I have seen, and that's what I wanted to do, and that's one of the reasons why on that weekend when Salman sir asked and what all has happened, because you realize that he wasn't fighting with people. You realize it's for a whole nexus.
Yeah.
And that's a game. In that house, game ऐसे ही खेला जाता है because हर किसी की अपनी weakness होती है, उसको उस तरह से corner किया जाता है, and then people either give in or I give up or either they react in a way that they can be out of the house. So happens that everyone has their way of playing the game. Simple.
Okay. That's right. But so you got along well with him. Now in
No,
turn,
I and Sidharth have also had disagreements. Huh?
yeah, I really want to know those disagreements.
Like for example, when we are playing a game, and for example, when he was the sanchalak of the house on one or two of those games, he was not on my side. He was on Asim's wala team ka side, and that's because we are playing a game. The next time when I came back as his connection, I'm winning for him. Understand? He was not very. He wasn't aware of कि चोरी हुई थी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल वो जो नोटों की चोरी हुई थी उसके बाद मैंने डाका डाल के अपने पास रख लिया था बिकॉज चोरी हो गई थी. किसी को समझ में नहीं आया चोरी किसने करी थी. इवन सिद्धार्थ डिड नॉट नो कि चोरी हुई. तो ही सेड आई डोंट लाइक यू आर प्लेइंग लाइक दिस. आई सेड बट आई प्ले लाइक दिस बिकॉज आई नो what has happened. You might not be aware of it because see he has his own principles and his way of functioning and I have mine and I understand. So जो नोट थे जो 300 कुछ से 500 कुछ हो गए थे एकदम से, I understood कहाँ चोरी हुए थे, कैसे गए थे, किसी को समझ में नहीं आया था.
So have you all kept in touch after that?
Yeah,
After
I met Sidharth just one day before Holi, on Choti Holi.
Okay.
So I had gone to meet him and his family. The only thing is I don't put out all posts and pictures all the time because I feel that some things don't have to be very public about.
Very demonstrative.
Very demonstrative. I just feel Shehnaaz is someone who's so much fun and filmy. I like that about her. That's one of the reasons why you will see me and Shehnaaz more all over the place. Sidharth has his own way of living and I like that part of him. So I'd like my friendship with Sidharth to be like that.
You think they're in love, Shehnaaz and Sidharth?
I have said from the day I entered into the house that there is so much love between both of them. Yeah.
They are in love.
They
But
are
they
in love.
continue to say नहीं आज friends zone में
देखिए ना वो attachment है, वो friend zone भी नहीं बोलते, वो बोलते हैं attachment है. बहुत अच्छी attachment है. वो तो है attachment, वो तो है ही. मुझे तो लगता है.
मान लो वो स्वयंवर में गई है. मान लो कल वो शादी कर लेगी, आपको लगता है?
मुझे honestly लगता है कि उसको ये शो नहीं करना चाहिए था अगर उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि क्या फीलिंग्स है क्या नहीं है. ऑल्सो उस घर के अंदर आपको अटैचमेंट होती है बहुत ज़्यादा. फिर जब वो इंसान आपसे दूर होता है, आप कहीं होते हो, तो आपको रियलाइज़ होता है अरे ये तो बहुत ज़्यादा, जैसे वो बोल रही है इस समय उसको मोहब्बत है और वो बहुत प्यार करती है. अब वो हर एक चीज़ समटाइम्स देयर इज सो मच ऑफ थिंग्स दैट दे नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई ऑलवेज सेड. घर के अंदर एक दुनिया है, घर के बाहर बिल्कुल ऑपोजिट दुनिया है. जब आप बाहर जाओगे तो आपको समझ में आएगा. फिर और अनफॉर्चुनेटली इन बोथ देयर केसेस एक साथ हो ही नहीं पाए वो.
बट वो शादी करेगी आपको लगता है? वो भुला पाएगी सिद्धार्थ?
I don't see the thing is I don't think that
maybe not भुलाओ, but you have to overcome that feeling which you have for him.
See again, I first want to know where they are in terms of the relationship, and if there is commitment or if there is love or if there's a formal proposal or not. So I haven't gone into that kind of conversation with either of them because
you didn't speak to Sidharth, you went to his house.
I did, but I will not have a chat with him unless you know what the thing is. Whenever you have a conversation like this and you're friends with both of them, I would rather speak with both of them together on this instead मैं उससे पूछूं और उससे पूछूं. वो आओ बहन चुगली करे वाला जोन होता है ना, वो जरूरत ही नहीं है.
तो स्कूल
कॉलेज की बात होगी और वो बिग बॉस के अंदर होता होगा ताकि उसमें फन कर सको या कुछ कर सको. आई फील देयर इज सो मच मोर दैट वी हैड टू टॉक अबाउट. देयर इज आफ्टर बिग बॉस दिस वाज द फर्स्ट टाइम वी वर मीटिंग. सो फॉर मी इट वाज इंपॉर्टेंट टू नो हाउ ही इज डूइंग एंड आई वाज रियली होपिंग दैट ही कुड हैव ट्रैवल्ड फॉर अ वीक और 2 weeks आउट ऑफ दिस होल प्लेस. बट इतना ज़्यादा इस समय इशूज चल रहे हैं ट्रैवलिंग के. ही इज ऑल्सो नॉट एबल टू गो विद हिज फैमिली समवेयर एंड प्लस ही इज बीन सो वर्किंग हार्ड. Every day there's something or the other that he's doing and he's taking time out for some very good causes which I really think are commendable.
Yeah. So ये जो आपकी दोस्ती होने लगी सिद्धार्थ के साथ, जो आपने भी बहुत जाहिर किया कि he's my friend, how did it upset your equation with Asim inside the house?
See,
I mean, remember we don't see 24 hours what is going on
see,
inside.
I'll tell
we
you,
are shown only for
absolutely. So I'll tell you something.
Period.
Asim and I have been on opposite teams most of the time. How much it's the reason why Asim was on the top 3 and finished second, simple, is because what he put on the line, others did not. And I got to know a lot more about Asim through Himanshi when I came out. Unfortunately, one thing I regret is that I wasn't there when Himanshi was there in the house. Himanshi was really a lot of fun. What a talented girl she is.
Yeah.
You have to hear her sing. Jagjit Singh की वाइफ है चित्रा जी, उनका एक पंजाबी लोरी है जो उन्होंने गाई थी, बनाई थी, वो गाती है, वो बहुत अच्छा गाती है. She's fantabulous. And I think she told me a lot more about Asim. And that's one of the reasons why I understood Asim from another perspective. Because जब मैं, सबको मालूम है मैं शो नहीं देखता. I've never watched Bigg Boss, not even my own season. I'll tell you what.
I know that, but why?
I can't see people getting tortured. Yeah. I really, sorry क्या बोल रहा हूँ. So I really can't see sir people getting tortured because क्या होता है कि I feel like I can't do anything. Just watch. See, if I'm inside the house, I can do something about it. Maybe I'll be part of it. Maybe I'll stop. Maybe I'll see whatever. पर आप जब लोगों को देखते हो torture होते हुए, क्या करोगे?
You don't like the manipulation, the games being played, you're saying?
Yeah, you know, insensitivity I don't like. But how to put it? There was this weekend episode of Shehnaaz where everyone was calling her jealous. I think I was having dinner at Sid's house only because उस समय सब लोग घर के अंदर थे. You know, except Sidharth Shukla, no one understood that she was actually going through a lot of pain because she was always there's some things that trouble. So एक time तक समझ में आता है, 2 time समझ आता है, पर पूरे उस पे, you know, anyone who's lived with her for some period of time also will understand कि कहाँ पर ये मजाक ख़त्म होता है, कहाँ पर she was very hurt. I couldn't finish my food that day. I just couldn't because मेरे से नहीं होता. तो मेरे को लगता है ना, जैसे मुझे दी बता रही थी कि ऐसा केवल 4-5 बार ही होता है, लेकिन मेरे को नहीं, तो अपना लक नहीं आजमाना ना कि मैं बैठा हूँ उस समय. आई सी आई एम अ वेरी सेंसिटिव पर्सन लाइक दैट. सो आई जस्ट फील दैट आई डोंट वांट टू बर्न माय ब्लड through watching other people's miseries and I can't do anything about it.
Would you agree, being such a sensitive person, I don't know how much you agree, but this was the ugliest season, they say, in terms of fights, in terms of...
You know, when I was inside, the experience that I've had inside, the surprising part is that it is not the ugliest season. It isn't. There are fights happening. Absolutely they were happening. But the way those fights were happening were more on... ऊपर वाला लेवल होता है ना, फिजिकल लेवल हो रहा है, चीख रहे हैं, चिल्ला रहे हैं. You know, there are seasons when you will see that the fights were on such psychological level that people were getting broken from inside. That's not the case.
You're referring to?
I'm referring to my season, for that matter. And what was used to happen was that the attacks on some of the seasons were so internal for people that affects them for a long time. Whereas on this season, there were fights, there were झगड़ा, मतलब चाय पत्ती पे, हर चीज़ पे. But then there were sides when they will go somewhere else also. There will be a lot more understanding. I just feel that there are a lot of personal lives came out in this season. If that wasn't the case, then I think that season, I really think that this season was also a very, very interesting, different season.
Do you think it also helped Rashmi and Sidharth to just vent it out whatever they had in the past and say whatever they had to each
know,
other?
I told...
And now they are perhaps better off as it seems to be.
I think so. It always is a great idea for communication to do. But I was telling this to Rashmi also. मेरे हिसाब से जब when I was entering the first time, I was very pro Rashmi and Asim when I was entering. See, I did not know Sidharth at all. Asim I had know because we had a common friend. And Rashmi I really, really like. You know, agar Rashmi would have played the way she played in the last 2 weeks, it was so difficult, I think almost impossible to beat her. She was so good. But it was just that in the beginning, she was playing for everyone else and not for herself. And I think that's where Rashmi kind of lagged behind. But she's such a strong woman. And she's seen so much in her life. I was really hoping that she will turn out to be the person that she could have turned out to be. But क्या है ना, वो दूसरों के लिए बहुत करती है लाइफ में. वो दूसरों के लाइफ उसके चक्कर में ना, she kind of didn't realize her own positioning, standing, and that's the reason why we didn't see her in top 3.
But blessing in disguise for her, this show, because it exposed Arhan.
See, I don't know what is the equation between Arhan and Rashmi right now. Like I said, no, I've realized in life that I don't get into people's matters anymore. But when I had entered, a lot of people had told me to say a lot of things about Arhan to her. I did not. See, because what happens is when you're inside that house,
outside people had told you to inform her.
Inform her and say all these things to her.
Okay.
But I did not go.
You knew that he was married as a kid.
See,
when you entered.
So when I entered, a lot of people have told me a lot of things. Now what happens is
was this one of the things?
Yeah, one of the things. Yes, it was.
You had this.
Yeah, but before I could enter, she was already informed. I think through Salman sir only that has happened.
Okay.
So for me, and they were trying to make me sit down and do like a panchayat and have a conversation. I didn't want to do that. See, first is I do not know what the equation really is, and I had no idea. See, we might want to paint Arhan completely bad right now, but and Arhan was very mean to me in the show.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I think there must be a side of his also that not everyone will understand. And Rashmi, on the other hand, like I'll tell you, she is such a giving and loving human being. So for her to go through and in that show, while she has gone ahead and invested so much on someone and suddenly you say cut कर दो हटा होता नहीं है उस समय समझ में नहीं आता क्योंकि दुनिया ही वो केवल घर है तो I just feel that just to make pass judgments and comments on anyone else's life वो तो होता नहीं है क्योंकि मुझे लगता है मेरी लाइफ खुद ही कितनी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है तो मैं अगर किसी पे कुछ जजमेंट करूंगा पास तो मेरे पे तो 50 आने चाहिए
फिर भी आपने असीम के गर्लफ्रेंड का हिंट दिया वहां पर
हाँ वो इसलिए क्योंकि उस समय हिमांशी को नहीं पता था हिमांशी को नहीं पता था और हिमांशी से मेरी डिस्कशन हुई थी और मैंने आसिम को भी डिस्कस किया था वो दिखाते नहीं ना हर चीज़ तो कि प्लीज़ इफ देयर इज एनीथिंग आउटसाइड टेल दे ओनली शोड द वन विच आई हैड अ कॉन्वर्सेशन विद शहनाज they did not show that when I had a conversation with Himanshi.
But you knew about Shruti Tuli. You knew that Asim was dating her.
Was dating her.
Did you know that he had broken off with her before?
See again, now what happens is that I was told that he had broken up, but in the show itself, he had said that he is not broken up. So I wasn't very sure about what. बाहर जाके मैंने कहा था मैं बाहर जाके बोलूँगा और plus Shruti Tuli's name I never took. That much of common sense. That much of understanding we need to have. That you cannot be taking an outsider girl's name on a show because she has nothing to do with the show. There's a person, there's Himanshi involved. Is the reason why I wanted Himanshi and Asim to sort it out because truly whenever I spoke to Himanshi, whenever I spoke to Asim, I realized they are very madly in love with each other. So I think that was very important for them to have that communication like we were saying about Sidharth and Rashmi. It was a very good thing that happened.
But have you met Shruti?
No. I haven't met. I might have bumped into her somewhere, but I've never met her. Okay. So for me, when I was informed about all of that, but I was informed first time only when I was entering. I never put that topic out at that point of time, no matter how much fights we were having, because it was not needed. There was not much.
Sometimes I feel you should be a journalist. You have so many sources to tell you the stories.
No, but the thing is, that's because everyone, when they feel that there's something wrong, they have somehow way they want to come back and tell me. So now I tell them I don't want to know the wrong because I am not supposed to be doing the job of anyone else. I'm very happy in my life. I just want to be looking after myself first. Yeah.
Okay. So coming to Paras and Akanksha.
I have no idea about Paras and Akanksha. Nothing at all.
Because Paras was attracted to Mahira. No.
So again, let me tell you something about Mahira. Mahira, she can be shouting, irritating, fighting, but she's actually one of the nicest girls in that house. She is such a kid.
Yeah,
I know, she's such a kid. And on top of that, I do not see many people standing up for their friends when Salman sir is speaking. They all like to be very, buttering and they will say yes, may yes and everything. Yeah. But with her, you had to see, she stood by. And they're one of the best friendships I've seen in the history of Bigg Bosses. Mahira and Paras has been one example. They did not leave each other no matter what happened. And in terms of attraction or not attraction, yes, Paras was attracted, but Mahira really maintained the distance and she kept telling, no, this is not going to be looking nice, this is not going to be looking nice. That's what is very important. When you live with someone for 4 months inside a house and that's your best friend, there's bound to be attractions from each other. That's supposed to happen. But the way she has done, she might be playing the game the way she played. Good, bad, ugly, everyone can have a point of view on it. That's one of the reasons why I was not gunging ho for them, ki ye jeete, nahi jeete. But I personally think she's a great, great, great girl. No matter what anyone has to say, you can go and slam me on Twitter for it. But I think Mahira Sharma is a good-hearted girl.
You know Akanksha?
No, not.
You never met her?
I've actually met her once or twice, but the time I met her, she wasn't seeing Paras. So I haven't really known them together or when they were with each other.
You knew Paras since quite some time.
Yeah, Paras
I think
is.
you had
He has.
He has stayed in your play at your
No,
place.
no, no. Paras is not stayed at my place. But Paras,
When he
I've
came.
launched Paras actually.
Yeah.
Paras has done some of his shows with me. So whether it was We the serial or he's done some of my episodics on Pyar Tune Kya Kiya or I think Ye Hai Aashiki, and then he also did the last show that he was doing, which was on Ant TV called Badu Bahu.
Was your equation good?
My equation
When you
with
went
Paras.
Because what I heard was you all had your rough edges between the two of you.
No, I don't think so because there was a time when Paras and I had stopped speaking to each other for something very stupid. Subway के ऊपर कुछ पंगा हुआ था, Subway sandwich के ऊपर. उसके बाद I have only casted him in Badu Bahu.
Okay.
So if there was issues, then I wouldn't have been wanting to get involved with anyone I have issues with. But I don't think, because see, I like to keep my work very separate. I have not met him, but I didn't have a problem. And while a lot of people keep telling me that he said a lot of rubbish behind my back in the house, in front of me he did not. He was very respectful to me, and that's what happens in the world also. I don't know what other people speak out behind my back. I don't care two hoots about it. As long as you are sorted with me in front of me and what work I am doing, you're not disturbing that, you can please speak gathas about me. That's your mouth, your life.
You rooted for Sidharth.
Yes.
You rooted for Shehnaaz.
Yeah.
But towards the end, when it had narrowed down, was there any other candidate you thought that might be the dark horse and win?
No, see, I'll tell you honestly, Asim was the other person who I thought was someone who should have really, really been there. And Rashmi I loved a lot. But I knew Rashmi, because of her entire journey, has been in a certain way, will be top 5 for sure. And actually what I predicted really did come out exactly the way. Only switches that I would have wanted, like I kept saying, Shehnaaz for top 2. I would have wanted her to be at second, but it didn't happen. But this is something that I had thought about. And 4th would be Rashmi and 5th would be Paras. And
so are you telling me that you knew that if Sidharth might have been beaten, it would have only been by Asim?
No, Shehnaaz could have done that. Please let me be very clear. Shehnaaz was beautifully loved by people. And Shehnaaz, Sidharth, Asim, the 3 most amazing players that Bigg Boss has ever seen. And they all 3, the beauties, they all 3 were as chalk and cheese and apple from each other, because तीनों का zone ही अलग है एक दूसरे से.
So what do you think went against Shehnaaz, if something was?
I think the what went against Shehnaaz, I think the promos came out of मुझसे शादी करोगे. So suddenly the whole philosophy of what she believed in, it didn't come out through. That one thing is obviously, definitely, I feel is something that might have not gone very well with her. Yeah.
Paras did a wise thing by taking the 10 lakh back.
Very much. I told Aarti also to do it. Before I left, I said, listen to me very carefully. Please, if you get a chance, do not even think in slightest thing. Just be very smart about it.
Tell me, to conclude this, any 3 or 4 names you think should go to Bigg Boss in the next season?
One name I always say, every time I say this, but will never go, but I hope he goes, is Karan Kundra. But he'll be out, I think, in the next 2 days, because he'll be beating up people and then he'll be out. Because he will not be able to take anything anyone says or does.
He's your best friend.
He's my best friend. I would love to see Karan Kundra locked up in their house. Really. I swear I love it. But I just don't think he'll do it.
Anybody else?
Anyone? Female? Anyone? I've been surprised by people very much. Chetna Pandey, for example, I've known her for some 7-8 years. And I somehow always thought Chetna to be this legally blonde, the girl who, who's pretty and but in the last 1 year, my views on her have changed a lot, and I feel that she's an extremely sorted, level-headed girl, and I would really like to see if she goes into Bigg Boss house and what does she do. She doesn't want to go in the house though. But
that takes me to class of 2020.
Yes.
Chetna, her name, she's there, right? In that show.
Yeah.
So tell me now, this show Ekta has been very happy about.
Punchbeat is one of the most expensive shows that I have ever made.
Gee.
It's and it got a lot of praises. It had a wonderful cast and very popular people, and also the show was shot in some beautiful locations. People compared it to Student of the Year and so on, and it did extremely well. But I had a very tough time making that show, extremely tough time, because of the actors involved into it.
Yeah, you spoke to me about that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I thought that they were very unprofessional and they really made things troublesome. But what you have to give to them is that they all fitted beautifully. They had their own strengths that they brought on the table, and the show became a huge success. And everyone kept fighting about, it's being successful because of him, because of her, because of this, because of that. And I've always believed to say that a show is successful because a team has come together and has done a great job. And after that show finished, I refused to do the second season of it, and I wanted to do something else. And I had done a show called Class of 2017, and that's my IP. And I wanted to do the second season. Now everyone has gone crazy because the budgets on web has become so huge that no one wants to work on lesser amount of money. And when it's like when you're about to get 1 lakh a day, why the hell would you come and work for 10?
Yeah,
it's just stupid. But then I decided, let's try working differently on this one. And I went to people who were not doing very well at that point of time, but they have great potential. They've been very, very popular. And somehow I got a very good team that came together to do this one. Class of 2020 has beaten a lot of shows. And it's been directed by this man called Arambh. And the team that I had were all people who have worked with me in the past. And the actors that top-lined were Chetna, were Rohan Mehra, and Nausheen decided to do a debut on digital with this one. I'm very, very thankful.
From, I don't know, from nowhere, and such a talented artist.
You have to see her. She killed it. Nausheen Ali Sardar is a brilliant actor, and you have to see what she brought on the table for that, the entire track. And she has to play negative from a woman who's known for playing positive roles, and the way she's come back, and she's not cared about anything. She had put on weight, by the way, let me tell you, for this character, because I wanted her to be a certain way. And she said, but I said, the reason why I'm not sure about you is because you have come back looking so hard, but I don't want the character to be that. She was playing a 17-year-old mother, and at 17 she has a kid, and by the time she is 34, she has a 17-year-old daughter. So it was that, but I wanted her to put on weight. So she actually, I think, put on some 8 or 10 kgs for the role.
So tell me, Vikas, one thing. ये जो Class of 2020 है और पंचबीट था, isn't the ambience slightly similar, the young boys and girls? But what makes this enjoy more edge over the previous one?
See, I'll tell you there's a very big difference between the genres of Punchbeat and Class. Punchbeat is what we want our lives to be like. It's your dream life. It's fantasy actually. Although it looks very simple, but ऐसा कोई स्कूल होता नहीं. ऐसे बॉक्सिंग रिंग्स में इश्यूज सॉल्व नहीं होते हैं. ऐसे स्टेप ब्रदर आते हैं साथ में, हर चीज़ कोइंसिडेंटली होती है, ये चीज़ें होती हैं. इट्स अ ब्यूटिफुल ड्रीम that people want to be living, like romance.
Are you saying that's more filmy?
It is only filmy.
That's
it is only filmy. Yeah. It is not possible to have a life like the ones that you have in Punchbeat, but you all love it. We all love it. We want our romances. We want
that escape area.
Absolutely. That's escapism to another level.
Yeah.
Whereas Class, no matter how much people say, what? Really? But that's all possible. Whatever happens on the show, which was Class, 95% of the things are all possible and actually taken from all real lives, incidents. And that's one of the reasons why, no matter how over the top the content looks, deep down, the TG, they know it's happening. They've seen it happening, they've heard it happening, they've seen people like that.
उनके life में हो रहा है.
Absolutely. And that's one of the most important difference between it. It's like doing Ye Hai Aashiqui, filmy, drama, and Gumrah. Gumrah could be over the top, but it is happening. And it is possible. This is what the major difference between both of them was.
So, these real life incidents you have taken from your
my life, outside life, what I see around. Like for example, around a year or 2 years back, I had read about this woman. It was all over the papers, who had given AIDS to 300 people. And she was giving AIDS to them because her husband had given her AIDS and run away. I've picked up that entire life that I read. And that's where Ketki's character was born. Because it's so important to understand. What I brought into it was another friend of mine who used to never have a boyfriend till college also. She said, no, it's not about sleeping with someone. It's about my emotionally bina. My love, I don't want to give to anyone else but my husband. Like she came with that thought process. Now imagine if she gets into a bad marriage, then what do you do? Someone who's been so honest about everything. And that's how Ketki's character was born out of those two situations together. Ketki was that girl played by Prakriti Mishra. She's someone who has won a national award last year, and I'm so happy. She was on Ace of Space, and then she agreed to do this cameo for me. Prakriti ended up bringing something so beautiful onto the character that आपको पता ही नहीं चलता कब वो आती कब जाती है, और yet the impact is as strong as it can be. And when you get to understand that a girl who's never had a boyfriend has only waited for this one man in her life, and that man in a month's time gives her AIDS, so she gets her HIV positive, there's a correction, we're all learning about it, and runs away. What does she do? There's frustration, there's anger, there's cheating, and she decides to give it to whoever cheats. And in this journey, she understands she can make mistakes and she's doing wrong because of what really is the climax onto the series. And that's what comes out beautifully about the whole thing. And that's how each and every character has been brought up. There was this scene in the show, Class of 2020, where the kids in school uniform are having sex inside the bathroom, school bathroom. And they were taken aback. I said, like, that's the same MMS that got viral about school kids having sex. And while they're doing it, there's someone else recording the whole thing, and that's how it came out. And I said, when this is happening in real, why would I not show it onto the show? Because that's exactly how people are living their lives.
How much do you, hold it back, while shooting ki is line ko cross nahi karna hai?
Yeah, I have a huge fights with my directors and cameramen if they have crossed any line. If, for example, what is not required to be shot, you're not supposed to shoot.
Of indecency.
Yeah, absolutely. You see, the thing is, while Class of 2020 has sexual scenes in it, when you see them, you realize they were needed to be there. There was a reason for it to be there. I wanted a mentally challenged boy being told about sex. He has to see the sex happening so he can ask those questions, and that's why one of the scenes was done between Ronit and Ranchi. And then when the father starts explaining him about sex, and then the way he says, when a boy loves a girl, sometimes even boys can love boys and girls can love girls. It was a very beautiful scene between Rushad and Jatin, who's playing Neil. I wanted that communication to come through. See, in a lot of my programming, I make sure that there are these issues that are being discussed. Maybe not give an opinion on it, but being discussed. It's so important to be discussed. If they're not going to be discussed, there is a problem. Like this time, I strongly created a character which has become so huge with everyone, which was played by Chetna.
Yeah.
Priyanka. It's about a psychopath. See, when I was growing up in my house, in my world, no one ever taught me or told me that there are good bad people, and there are evil people. People who have no empathy inside them. They don't feel. And when a person doesn't feel, it's not their fault only if they're doing wrong to you. You don't do anything wrong to someone because you feel bad about it. If someone's not feeling bad about it, then what do? The thing is, we are supposed to be told about it, that there are people like that. I wasn't told about it. I have decided that I'm going to make sure that there's knowledge about a sociopath or a psychopath or a narcissist with the youth today, because so many people among us are, unfortunately, none of us know the exact problems, the solutions, or to help them, because when you don't help them, they end up helping themselves in the all wrong ways. And where do you go? So I think this country needs to know a little bit more about that.
So in this collaboration with Ekta on this show, which character is Ekta's favorite?
Ekta's favorite? She loves Hardik a lot.
Okay.
She finds him, and she likes Priyanka's character a lot. Yeah, those two characters. Because Hardik has this whole good boy, has a feel towards the girl that he wants to. My favorite is Ibrahim's character, because he's so real, and he is the person that most of these guys find very inspirational, aspirational, because he's having action everywhere, he's doing well in studies also, he's kind of there, and there's niceness to him. Like there's a scene with Ibrahim where he's making out with a girl in the storeroom, and he gets a call and he stops the sex because he has to tell stories to his grandfather, because grandfather is not very well. And while he's doing that, he doesn't become too good. He starts sexting at the same time while he's telling the story. That's the generation today. They will do the good thing as long as they can do the enjoyable thing at the same time. They will do both of them together. And that's what I love the nuance that I created on this character. That I learned from Ekta, by the way.
I can understand that you are surrounded by youth. You cherish being with them, and that's how you put it all on the screen.
I really believe in understanding people, because that's the only way you can. And I really strongly feel the reason why I've come here to Bombay, or I could become the person I became, is because of television. There used to be a show called Wonder Years. I don't know how many of people have actually seen that show. That show is a very righteous show, but it's very beautifully about this boy whose the story has been told. And I used to see it and I wanted a life like that. Hippie Hurray was this show that used to come, I think, on Wednesdays, if I remember, 8:30 or 8 o'clock. And it was my favorite show in the world. Class of 2017 was Hippie Hurray rebooted. It was supposed to be made for Z, and then somehow things didn't work out. I made the show, then it was supposed to go to Alt. It was not going there either. I was stuck with the show. And then magically they needed the show, and it went into for an acquisition deal. And yay, I got the IP. It did well. 2020 also, IP happened with me, and it's doing very well. Now we have season 2 of 2020 happening. And guys, we are starting with class of 2021, which shoot will be happening now, so that it will be ready first thing in January 2021. That class of 2021 will be released also. So these 2 shows are what we are immediately getting into, and we have these 3 magical shows that we are working on, which are big ones, like how Punchbeat was, this magical
3 more.
3 more, yeah. So those are 3 other shows that I'm working on, and I'm working on my film script. I want to write nicely.
You told us about that.
So that's the one that I wanted to basically focus on and direct. But direction only depends on when will I get the right dates of the actors that I want on it. And so that basically.
So 2020 की second part में cast same है या?
कुछ cast add हो रही है, बाकी mostly same रहेगी.
Mostly same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any major
see, there's
some person coming in 2021, like you brought in Nausheen or some.
2021 you'll have a great amount of surprises happening. But I think even in 2020, the 2 or 3 cast that will come in, and then there will be cast leaving also. So some student's story will not be told and will be incomplete, because not everyone will be able to continue with it. But the way we have left the show, and on the 32nd episode, everyone keeps saying, when is the next episode coming?
Very tantalizing.
I purposely made sure that I make it in a way and leave it at a point that people would want to know what happened to the lives of Denobly High students, and that they will get to know.
I think this is all coming from working closely with Ekta.
Absolutely.
These points on the TV shows are just marvelous.
But right, my vision comes from her.
That's what brings the audience back.
Absolutely. And you know, she said something very interesting. She had said once while taking an award, saying that we dedicate 24 hours of our lives so that we can entertain people for half an hour and make them happy or make them go through the emotions. And that's exactly what I live my life by. And I really feel that that's my way of doing things that I do. I'm very socially conscious, and I think that's very, very important to be in my own way. Very in my own way.
ठीक है, it's 1 o'clock in the night, and
yes,
Vikas Gupta is headed for another meeting.
Yes, and I'm late. And Marriott, everyone knows, is my second home, but that's only because there are less people there, and the people there are nicer, and I can have a quiet place to myself and finish my meetings. Thank you so much, sir, for having me.